Now on 13 on your side, the San Luis Port of Entry now back open for business nearly 2 years later. Travelers can once again cross the border 24 hours a day. Plus, we'll break down the CDC new guidelines for quarantining if you come in contact with COVID-19, what you need to know as cases of the Omicron variant continue to soar. And a Phoenix police officer in critical condition after being shot 8 times. An update on his condition. Good evening and happy holidays. Thank you so much for choosing to be with us tonight on 13 on your side. I'm Scott Gross. Breaking news tonight, a plane has crashed in El Cajon in San Diego County. This happened around 7 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Mountain Time tonight, just north of Interstate 8. The aircraft took down several power lines, knocking out the power in the surrounding area. According to the San Diego Sheriff's Office, this was a small jet plane. So far, officials have confirmed it was flying towards Gillespie Field before it went down. So far, no word on any injuries or how many people were on board. Crews are on scene trying to piece everything together on exactly what happened. Again, if you're just joining us, a small plane jet went down in the El Cajon area nearby San Diego, toppling several power lines. We will stay on top of this and bring you the latest on KYMA.com. The Christmas holiday did not stop undocumented immigrants from crossing into the U.S. over the weekend. The average daily climbed to almost 1,000 this past week. The Morelos Dam remains a hot spot for those looking to find refuge here. Arlette Youssef has more on this continuing border crisis.
Over 2,700 migrants crossed into the Yuma sector during the holiday weekend alone, with some days seeing as many as 1,000 undocumented immigrants at the border. A bottleneck of migrants crossing the border continues stretching the local processing system thinner than usual.
It's been a rough month. It's been a rough year overall, but this last portion of the month where we had this large influx of migrants coming over, crossing over at the Algodones section has been extremely difficult.
Yuma County Board of Supervisors Chairman Tony Reyes says there is some government help, but it's not designed to help large groups.
The federal government has set up processing centers. They do have hotels that serve as that, and they do have their own facilities where they keep most of these people. They keep them in that location, so they're not walking around the city, they're not walking around small towns.
Processing times vary, but usually each person spends about 72 hours with Border Patrol and another 72 hours with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Those people, although they come and they don't come, quote, the right way, they're still people who we need to deal with.
Some migrants travel far and long for the chance to step foot in the United States, all at the risk of being sent back to the very place they are running from. Reporting in Yuma, Arlette Youssef.
The Port of Entry in San Luis went back to being open for 24 hours a day. That started today. Since the start of the pandemic, hours were limited for entry into Mexico. The whole goal was to stop the spread of COVID, but for families and businesses who rely on the cross-border travel, many really felt a negative impact. The mayor of San Luis, Gerardo Sanchez, says he's grateful for the support on both sides of the border. A search continues for a shooting suspect following a shooting on Christmas Day. Just after 5:30 in the morning, Yuma police were called to a home on the West 12th Street after someone reported hearing shots fired. Officers found a man with gunshot wounds and he was taken to the hospital. Nearby property was also damaged with multiple casings found at the scene. The suspect in this case is facing attempted homicide charges. If you have any information, you can remain anonymous by calling 78 Crime. To Phoenix now, where a police officer remains hospitalized in critical condition after being shot numerous times earlier this month. 22-year-old Tyler Moldovan responded to calls of a person driving erratically the night of December 14th. The suspect, now identified as 24-year-old Asa Williams, was later found hiding on the patio of an apartment complex. When confronted, police say the suspect shot the officer 8 times. Moldovan has been hospitalized for weeks, and his family says he is making baby steps in his recovery. He is opening his eyes every now and then, but still has a very long way to go. A judge in Colorado has set a new hearing date to reconsider a 110-year prison sentence handed down against a truck driver who caused the death of 4 people in 2019. In October, a jury found Rohel Aguilera Moderos guilty of 27 charges stemming from the deadly crash along I-70. Mandatory minimum sentencing guidelines led the initial 110-year sentence, which sparked protests and calls for clemency. One online petition was signed over 5 million times, and the governor's office is reviewing a request for clemency. Today, the district attorney announced that the state will ask the judge for a new sentence of between 25 and 30 years after both sides provide the court with additional information before the next hearing on January 13th.
My office started the resentencing process the same week the defendant was sentenced, so that the court could consider an alternative sentence that was not bound by mandatory sentencing structures. Given the conduct and in consultation with the victims and survivors, we will likely be recommending a sentence of between 20 to 30 years when the court is ready to go to that hearing.
Last week, the district attorney also noted her decision was based on the facts of this case and input from the victims and their families. A 14-year-old girl who was killed during an officer-involved shooting at a California store is identified. Authorities say Valentina Orellana Peralta was killed after a stray bullet tore through the wall of a Burlington store in North Hollywood. Valentina was in a dressing room with her mother. Police were responding to a call of a possible shooting in progress at the store, and when they arrived, they found a woman bleeding with multiple injuries. Police then shot and killed the man suspected in the assault. After that, authorities found a hole in the wall behind him and discovered Valentina inside with a gunshot wound to the chest. Her death is listed as a homicide. Switching gears to COVID news, while the federal government is focused on ramping up COVID testing, it's still a little hard to come by. Now, this is video from Texas, but the scene was the same in both Yuma and Imperial counties. Cars wrapped around the block at both Sunset Health and Regional Center for Border Health. Thousands of people rushed to testing sites before and after the holiday, and the long lines may be here for at least the next few weeks. At-home test kits are also sold out, and appointments at CVS are full several days out.
People have stopped wearing their masks. They stopped being cautious. They're fatigued with the whole thing, and they're getting out there, being around people, and they're just spreading it like wildfire.
Again, testing is important because you could have no symptoms at all, but still test positive and spread the virus to others. The CDC shortened its recommended isolation and quarantine period. The CDC now says those who are asymptomatic or no longer showing symptoms can shorten their isolation period from 10 days to 5, followed by 5 days of wearing a mask around others. The change comes as scientists prove that most coronavirus transmissions happen 1 to 2 days prior to symptoms and 2 to 3 days after. The CDC also says those who are unvaccinated or haven't gotten their second COVID shot should quarantine for 5 days, followed by 5 more days of strict mask usage. And happy holidays to all of you as we nestle into our final week of 2021. We take a look outside on the RV World of Yuma Skycam. It's somewhere in there between everything you can see. But we do have some cloud cover out there as well, some gusty winds throughout Yuma County and Imperial County tonight. Coming up in your first alert forecast, more rain is on the way. It's possible we could see some as early as tomorrow, but we have a week filled with opportunities. I'll share more on that in just a little bit. Also, nightly freezing temps. Yeah, we could reach 32 degrees or below 32 degrees, especially in the Imperial Valley. More on that, and a merry and bright holiday photo I want to share with you. All of this coming up a little bit later on. And I want to share everybody, again, we just had that outside. I'm going to jump ahead now. While most of us are counting down the days until the new year, some people are looking to start 2022 off on the right with a new job. Career expert Leah Soto Graham says, first and foremost, your resume should be updated with the latest information.
Be sure to highlight the things that best show you off and why you're right for the job. Start with certifications. Certifications are ways of showing that you are officially certified. Next, be sure to highlight anything that you've done that includes internships or volunteer opportunities. These things show that you've spent your time in a productive way. Of course, if you have any degrees or any advanced education as well, include that on your resume too.
And as always, if you need help revamping your resume, you can visit your local Goodwill Career Center or visit KYMA.com for the latest employment information. Also, KYMA is also hiring, and we'd love to have you join our team. Commuting to your job or your new job may hit a few snags soon if you rely on State Route 195 in Yuma. Starting on January 4th, the Arizona Department of Transportation tells us contractors are scheduled to complete utility work near East County 14th Street. This will impact both directions from 9 until 3 o'clock. And with the Christmas holiday now in the rear view mirror, if you're ready to ditch the tree, the city's Christmas tree recycling program starts tomorrow. You can drop off your tree at the Yuma Civic Center anytime between 8 and 3. There's no cost, and it will be open weekdays until January 7th. You're asked to remove all lights and ornaments. The trees will be chipped and reused. North Gila Transfer Site is also taking trees, and the city of San Luis will be welcoming folks who want to get rid of their trees starting on January 3rd.
Continued holiday travel frustration. I'm Dina Demetrius with more on the Omicron-driven flight cancellations and delays.
President Biden is vowing to help states get access to rapid COVID tests. I'm Deborah Alferone at the White House with details on how the administration is planning to battle the highly contagious Omicron variant.
A broken motorcycle.
Where is the bike?
It's in another shop, and it's not running.
So evidently you didn't do such a good job.
A dissatisfied customer.
He did not give me an estimate at that time.
Did you ask him for one?
No.
Why not?
Good question.
And a shady shop owner.
He wanted so many things done, it was hard to give a total estimate.
You've been in business 17 years, Mr. Graybow. I'm getting a feeling that you're running this business a little loosey-goosey.
Next, Judge Judy.
At Metro by T-Mobile, we know you deserve more for the holidays. So we're giving you more with the big 5G upgrade. More choices with the largest selection of free 5G phones like the Samsung Galaxy 5G. And more savings on one line of unlimited smartphone data for just $25 a month with 5G included at no extra cost. All with the power of the T-Mobile 5G network. So whether you're sharing and connecting or feasting with friends, get more for the holidays with your choice of a free 5G phone. Only at Metro.
It's been a year. One that, despite our best efforts, we'll always remember. We made it this far together, with some help from our neighbors, our families, and our friends. And that's exactly how we'll be when we cross the finish line. Together. So to everyone who helped us get this far, thank you.
We're at our best when we stand together.
That's when we make the impossible
possible. That's what Stand Up to Cancer has done. Because you stood up. Because of you are out there.
We're making the impossible possible.
We're committed to making every cancer patient a survivor.
This is the moment to redouble our efforts.
Together, we stand up to cancer.
Tune in August 21st at 8, 7 Central.
"13 on Your Side" starts now.
Good evening and happy holidays. I'm Scott Gross. The Christmas weekend may be over, but the demand for COVID-19 testing is not. Today, President Biden vowed to help states get more rapid tests out quickly and deal with the surge in cases due to the highly contagious Omicron variant. Deborah Alferone has more from the White House.
The shortage of take-home tests in some stores and long lines at testing sites left state governors and the White House scrambling to meet the demand.
Seeing how tough it was for some folks to get a test this weekend shows that we have more work to do.
In a meeting with his COVID response team and a bipartisan group of governors, President Biden repeated plans to distribute 500 million rapid COVID tests starting next month.
There is no federal solution. This gets solved at a state level. If you need something, say something. And we're going to have your back in any way we can.
The president denied a Vanity Fair report that his administration rejected a plan back in October to ramp up those rapid tests. And he said that, quote, they would have gone harder and quicker on those tests had he known.
Daily COVID cases have spiked to more than 176,000, the highest in nearly a year.
We are seeing breakthrough infections at pretty high numbers, less if you're boosted, but even among the boosted.
Monday, the CDC cut the recommended isolation period for the general population down to 5 days after they test positive if asymptomatic, followed by 5 days of wearing a mask around others. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
The CDC also says those who are unvaccinated should isolate for 5 days, followed by 5 days of masking if they are exposed to COVID-19. That guidance also applies to people who received their second vaccine dose more than 6 months ago or the Johnson & Johnson shot over 2 months ago. Anyone showing symptoms after exposure should immediately isolate until a negative test is received. Frustration at the airports with carriers scraping more flights on Monday. Several airlines say COVID-related crew shortages are prompting those cancellations and delays. Dina Demetrius reports from Los Angeles International Airport.
The holiday hustle and bustle is more like a drag.
It's very frustrating, and we have plans already. We have a business to run and stuff like that.
Sonal Patel's return flight to Kentucky isn't getting off the ground.
It was for 9:24 and got delayed and went to 1 o'clock and all of a sudden got canceled.
The Omicron-driven surge is forcing more flight cancellations with infections among pilots, crew, and airline staff. According to FlightAware, more than 1,000 flights with U.S. destinations were canceled Monday, and more than 3,000 were delayed.
Airlines can't operate flights without the required number of pilots and flight attendants. Safety comes first.
Several airlines had called on the CDC to reduce the quarantine isolation period, and late Monday the CDC shortened it from 10 days to 5 for anyone who tests positive and is asymptomatic.
Honestly, if it's good enough for hospital workers, for nurses and doctors, I think it should be good enough for the airline industry as well.
While the disruption is certainly a hassle, experts say it should resolve itself when the holiday rush dies down.
Once the airlines can stabilize their schedule for the next 5 days, then for the first quarter of 2022, it should be relatively okay.
In the meantime, travel experts advise signing up for text alerts so you'll be notified immediately of any changes to your flight. And of course, pack your patience. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Another snag. Travel experts say there's very limited inventory for rental cars, and those that are available at airports are unreasonably priced. Another look outside on the RV world of Yuma Skycam. Pretty quiet out there in the streets right now, but it's also very chilly, and we're expecting some rain very soon. When? I'll let you know straight ahead in your First Alert forecast.
It's all gone, son.
Oh no, Sam's. This one.
Again.
Let go of your umbrella. Darling, I'm just trying to
What's all this?
We can't have a bookstore without books.
Thank you all so much.
We can't help what you do before you go to bed, but we can make sure the sleep is solid once you finally get there. And during the New Year's super sale at Denver Mattress, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or purchase a Tempur-Pedic and get a $300 gift. Check out the Summit Firm for only $249.99, plus 5 years no interest and free shipping. Here's to 365 nights of better sleep. Happy New Year from Denver Mattress.
Do you love spending your time on Facebook?
Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok?
KYMA.com. All the news you need right at your fingertips.
If you have experience with WordPress, love doing everything you can to get eyeballs on a post or story, then KYMA.com is looking for someone like you to lead a team of digital experts into new frontiers. To apply, go to KYMA.com.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
A much anticipated event we have been mentioning in our newscast for quite some time now.
We figured what best way to give back than to take part in the Blankets for the Heart Drive. That's why we're here today.
When the weather starts to take a chill, Yuma comes together to warm hearts.
By donating jackets, socks, blankets, and anything toasty for those in need.
Our fellow anchor Vince Ibarra was supposed to be here with... Oh, gosh. Luis! Oh, I'm here. What?
Thank you, Yuma, for sharing with Crossroads Mission.
And making the season warmer for those in need.
A very good Monday evening to all of you across the Desert Southwest. Happy holidays from all of us here at 13 on Your Side to you and yours. Hope you had a good weekend. It's our final week of 2021, so hopefully we can make the best of it before we turn the page this weekend into 2022. Right now we're at 51 degrees in Yuma under some clear skies out there. We've got some clearing out there. We do have some clouds out in Imperial Valley and El Centro currently at 54 degrees as we take a look outside on the RV World of Yuma Skycam. Not too many people out and about tonight. The winds have calmed down. They'll start to pick up a little bit. We've kind of been in some pockets of wind here in Yuma. Imperial County, very, very windy still, and that will continue tomorrow as well. Let's take a look at our satellite and radar, show you what we have going on throughout the day. Again, there's that clearing that we have. We do have some showers in Palm Springs and San Diego, but as we zero in to the Desert Southwest, again, pretty clear. You are seeing some clouds throughout Imperial County, and again, some rain making its way through San Diego County, trying to creep its way in to the Imperial Valley. That may happen tomorrow. Here's your future cast. Here's what things look like for tomorrow, for Tuesday. We've got this weather system moving its way in. Most of the west should be wet tomorrow, including most of Arizona. But look at right here, the Desert Southwest where we are, going to be bone dry. We should be at least into tomorrow. Again, the forecast, the future cast tomorrow showing a lot of rain throughout except for where we are in the Desert Southwest. It just kind of wraps right around us. Here's a look at the satellite and radar from across the United States. Parts of Arizona did see rain today. We'll see some more rain tomorrow. You can see that rain moving through most of the South and into the Midwest, and also a lot of snow flurries making its way through the Rockies and through the Dakotas as of right now. Let's bring it back in. Future wind scale shows those winds are blowing through Imperial County right now. Will continue to do so. It'll reach into Yuma County at times tomorrow afternoon, but for the most part, we're looking for a gusty day throughout the viewing area tomorrow. A look at our air quality index brought to us by the Imperial County Air Pollution Control District. Not affecting the air quality. The winds out there in the valley, good all the way through the valley and on down to Mexicali. Let's take a look at our current temperatures. We will stay in the Imperial Valley. Imperial's at 54, 54 El Centro, 50 in Holtville, 51 in Palo Verde, and across the county and state line into Yuma County, Arizona. The Gila Valley, we're at 51 at YPG, 51 at Yuma, and 49 in San Luis. Our reviewer photo of the day today, our merry and bright holiday photo sent in by Richard Perez. It's a beautiful photo. Santa at the end of the path there. You see the candy canes along the sidewalk and a lot of lights out there as well. Richard, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and I'm super happy and proud to share it with all of our viewers. If you have a photo, we'd certainly like to see it. You can do it easily by scanning that QR code with your phone. It'll magically take you to the Merry and Bright page, and once you're there, upload your photo from your phone, include your name and a slight description as Richard did. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. Here's what we got going on. A breezy day tomorrow. As I showed you, our average for this time of year is 68 degrees, so we're going to be below that. The best chance for rain in Yuma County will be on Thursday and Friday. Saturday, Happy New Year, everybody. Our temperatures are lows. Look at that, creeping towards freezing, 37 and 39 on the weekend. Over in the Imperial Valley, maybe a shot at maybe some rain scattered here and there, but a really good chance on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Temperatures on New Year's Day sink to close to freezing. Look at that, 33 degrees, 34 on Sunday. But for the most part, we're going to be a lot cooler with a pretty good chance of seeing some rain this week. Next on 13 on your side, the Phoenix Suns look to stay hot at home tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies. The score and the highlights straight ahead in sports.
A community is stronger when we support each other, and that's what DSW Local Links is all about. Connect with your favorite restaurants, check out activities your family can enjoy, preview upcoming events at our fantastic venues, and it's right at your fingertips. Just go to KYMA.com and click on Local Links right there at the top of the page, or scan the QR code on your screen with your phone. DSW Local Links, supporting local business, connecting you to what makes your life better.
Who's the person that placed a bomb under the house?
My mom has been acting like this for our whole lives.
You're gonna die, boom, boom.
Hot Bench.
A much anticipated event we have been mentioning in our newscast for quite some time now.
We figured what best way to give back than to take part in the Blankets for the Heart Drive. That's why we're here today.
When the weather starts to take a chill, Yuma comes together to warm hearts.
By donating jackets, socks, blankets, and anything toasty for those in need.
Our fellow anchor Vince Ibarra was supposed to be here with. Oh gosh, Luis! I'm here.
What? Thank you, Yuma, for sharing with Crossroads Mission
and making the season warmer for those in need.
If they feel like we're not covering something, we work for them. We work for the public. We work for, our community here. And so if they feel like we're not covering something or we're not following up on something, they're more than welcome to reach out to us and let us know and keep us informed and let us know what we're not seeing, or, we can't be everywhere. So sometimes those viewer comments are important for us to know what it is that, we might be missing. I take the viewers' trust very seriously and making sure that I'm doing the best job I can to keep people informed.
It's time to find your adventure with Girl Scouts and Spirit Untamed.
Sign me up.
Whether you've got courage to spare,
Jump!
skills worth showing off,
Let's go, girl.
or you just want to make new friends.
It's in your heart to run free. It's in mine, too. Trust me.
Rocky! There's always a home for you at Girl Scouts.
If you have to ask yourself this question, you're not okay to drive. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
It wasn't a good weekend for the Chargers and Cardinals. Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Gross. Maybe the Phoenix Suns could continue their hot start to begin the season and provide sports fans in the desert Southwest with some holiday cheer. Tonight, the Suns hosted Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, winners of 7 of their past games, equaling what the Suns have done over that span. To Phoenix we go. First quarter, 13-6 Memphis, and Steven Adams will pull down the offensive rebound, lays it in, and also draws the foul. 15-6 Memphis early. Later in the first quarter, Desmond Bane will make the 27-foot three-point jumper. It's 25-17 Memphis. You can kind of see where this is going to go. The Suns respond with Jalen Smith with his layup, Devin Booker with the assist. It's 25-19 Memphis. More Memphis. Brandon Clark makes the driving layup. Suns are down by 3 at this point. To the second quarter, Suns down 6. Jalen Smith makes the 3-foot dunk coming up right here. Jams it home. Assisted by Chris Paul. Suns down by 4, but the Grizzlies would hang on and win a wild one in Phoenix tonight by a score of 114-113. Suns are now 27-6 on the season. To Monday Night Football in New Orleans. First quarter, Ian Book making his first NFL start for the Saints on Monday Night Football, and Book is going to be picked off by Nick Needham of the Dolphins, and Needham takes it all the way back to the house for a 28-yard touchdown. Extra point is going to be good. It's going to be 7-0 Dolphins. Let's go to the second quarter here. Here's Tua Tagovailoa, 10-3 Dolphins, and Tua is going to be sacked by the Saints' Cameron Jordan. The score is still 10-3 Dolphins. We're going to move ahead now to the third quarter, And Tua Tagovailoa is going to try the old flea flicker, and he's going to complete it to Jalen Waddle for the nice gain. Still 10-3 Dolphins, still in the third quarter. And Tagovailoa, once again, he's going to get it here. It's going to be a 1-yard touchdown pass, not a run. And guess who? Jalen Waddle, yet again, makes a score 17-3 Dolphins. The Dolphins would go on to take a 20-3 lead. Emmanuel Ogbah is going to sack Ian Book. It was not a good night for the rookie making his first ever NFL start. 20-3 Dolphins at that point. They win 20-3. Dolphins now jump into the 7th and final playoff spot in the AFC. It pushes the Chargers to the number 9 seed, the Vegas Raiders to the 10 seed with 2 games to play. Central Michigan will now play Washington State in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl on Friday, a move that allows both teams to play in a bowl game. Both teams lost opponents to COVID-19 issues. Miami withdrew from the Sun Bowl on Sunday, sending the bowl scrambling for an opponent for the Cougars. That spot was filled by the Chippewas after their scheduled opponent, Boise State, withdrew from the Barstool Arizona Bowl today. The bowl games and respective conferences worked out an arrangement for the Sun Bowl to move forward with the game, while the Arizona Bowl became the 4th bowl game canceled due to COVID-19 reasons. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back.
Don't you worry now. There's no need to worry now. It's been a long, long day, and you can shine now.
At Denver Mattress, we believe a little tranquility goes a long way. So add a little tranquility into your sleep with the Colorado mattress. Packed with over 500 individually wrapped coils. And made in the USA at our very own Denver Mattress Factory, the Colorado mattress is the perfect combination of comfort and value. Visit your local Denver Mattress today and take one home for only $499.99. The Colorado mattress only at Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right mattress.
'Tis the season for more at Metro by T-Mobile with the big 5G upgrade. Now choose from the largest selection of free 5G phones, like the Samsung Galaxy 5G, and one line of unlimited 5G for just $25. Get more for the holidays, only at Metro.
It's time for a talk. If you're 45 or older, you need to get yourself screened for colon cancer. This disease can be very treatable when caught early, so the sooner you know what's up with your health, the better. The good news is that there's options for getting screened that are easier than you think. Get informed. If you're a man or a woman, 45 or older, take control. Get screened for colon cancer. StandUpToCancer.org/colon cancer.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-670-2995.
Introducing Stretch and Fresh Containers, the amazing food storage containers with stretch and fit lids that let you store more. Even the odd-shaped foods you couldn't put in containers before. Just stretch over the food and snap lock the lid to keep food fresh. That's it. It comes in the sizes you need to store all the foods you want with amazing storage capacity. And the containers nest for compact, stacked, space-saving storage. And right now, we'll double the offer and send a second set. Just pay a separate fee. Call now.
Before we go tonight, preparations for the new year are underway in New York City. Workers installed 192 new Waterford crystal triangles featuring this year's Gift of Wisdom design in the Times Square New Year's Eve ball. The ball is covered with a total of 2,688 Waterford crystal triangles that vary in size. This year, the celebration is going to be scaled back a little bit, with the celebration only allowing 15,000 people in the area. Those who attend for the ball drop will have to show proof of vaccination. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast once again. We've got some weather moving in, cooler temperatures and rain. Here's what it looks like in Yuma. We're going to be below our average of 68 degrees. Rain, best chance for it Thursday and Friday. We bring in the new year on Saturday. Temperatures close to freezing overnight. See 37 and 39 over the weekend. Different story in the Imperial Valley. Maybe you'll see some rain tomorrow. Really good chance on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And again, those temperatures on New Year's Day, Saturday and Sunday close to freezing. 33 and 34 degrees, respectively, this weekend. That's our show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Scott Gross. Happy holidays to you and yours from all of us here at 13 on Your Side. Stephen Colbert is next.